Star Wars Unlimited fans, welcome back to another video where today we are looking at Kaz TarkinTown, a deck that many people believe will now take the meta by storm thanks to the suspension of Jango Fett from Fantasy Flight Games that just went into effect at the time of this recording. Yes, on April 9th, Fantasy Flight came together, told us what cards are going to get suspended. We lost Jango Fett. We lost Triple Dark Raid, and we lost DJ. DJ looks to be more of a preliminary hit to basically ensure the Han Solo leader from set 1 doesn't just become meta again like he has in the last 3 sets. So with Jango Fett being the best deck of the format, now pretty much gone, it leaves very much open the meta. People think Quinlan will come in. People think Piet will now be able to take the meta by storm thanks to its big ships, and a lot of people really don't have a way to deal with Piet's big ships. But a deck that a lot of people I think believe, and because of Jango Fett really didn't get a lot of play and see, is Kaz TarkinTown, or Kaz Red, because I have seen people playing with the Oscillator base as well. So the Oscillator base goes to the 27 health, but you go down to 25 cards in your deck. Or no, sorry, 45 cards in your deck. You lose 5, you have to always lose 5 cards. So you can still build a 50 card deck, but then you have to go down to 45. So, I'm using TarkinTown here because I think this is also the secondary option a lot of people are going to play with. Some people might just play with just a straight normal red base. But Oscillator looks to be the more common base that Kaz is going to be probably running around with. But nonetheless, I really want to discuss the leader because he does something very, very unique. Now, if you don't know, Kazuto comes from the Star Wars Resistance Rebels show that was produced. It was kind of pretty soon after Star Wars Rebel by David Filoni, and he started Star Wars Resistance, which kind of follows some Resistance pilots and stuff like that. I don't know how well it did because again, it's set in the Disney Star Wars universe, and people just don't like the Disney Star Wars universe. But Kaz is a unique leader because of what he's allowed to do. Kaz on his front side states, action, tap him. A friendly unit loses all its abilities for this round, and then you take an extra action after doing that. So basically, we remove all of the text on our card and basically turn it into a vanilla. Now, he does the exact same thing on his leader side. He's like many of our piloting leaders. He can basically throw himself out as a leader on the ground, or he can turn himself into an upgrade on a vehicle for 33, and then if Kaz attacks, then he can remove the ability off of Guy, but Kaz has to attack while he's upgraded. So, that's why he didn't really see a lot of play because of Jango, because Jango would just tap him down, and then because Kaz got tapped down, he can't use his ability. He has to attack to use his ability. Anyways, we've seen TarkinTown before. I know a lot of people wanted this suspended. I get the reason why. It's a big tempo swing in games where you can just nuke something off the board and force your opponent into some kind of tempo game. Where, yes, you lose 5 health, but a good tempo swing. So it'll kind of be interesting to kind of see if more TarkinTown decks kind of pop up as we move into this new meta. So for the rest of the deck, we have 2 BB-8s, 2 Leia Organas, triple Sabine, triple Cassian, triple Han Solo, triple Plo Koon, triple Cartel Turncoat, triple Black 1, triple Fireball, triple Red Squadron Y-Wing, triple Millennium Falcon, triple Stolen AT Hauler, triple Sacrifice, double Jam Communications, triple Trench Run, double Bamboozle, triple Sparky Rebellion, and triple Cosbar Believe It. Now, what Kaz is going to target is your Millennium Falcon, because we hit this in the regroup phase. Remember, the regroup phase is the last thing you do after both you and your opponent have officially passed. Whether it's one of you claiming the initiative, the other one passing, or you soft passing your opponent claiming the initiative. Nonetheless, you both have considered passing, you go to the regrouping phase. Typically, the Millennium Falcon requires you to pay 1 to keep him on the board or return him to your hand. Now, that's not so broken. Say he's got damage on him, you can easily just grab it and return him to your hand, and then damage just kind of disappears. It's a nuisance for your opponent. But by targeting him with Kaz, you don't have to pay that regrouping cost. Basically, you can play at the Millennium Falcon, and then every time just target him with Kaz, and to ensure that he never this Millennium Falcon never has to pay that cost. Again, we're also, because we have running Millennium Falcon, right now the best legendary for cunning and heroic is, of course, this new Han Solo, which, of course, pilots for 2, just basically 2, because we already meet the aspect requirements. And then you just attach them on the Millennium Falcon, and then when you can attack with that attached unit, if the Millennium Falcon deals combat damage for the defender. So we just immediately deal the damage straightforward. Now, another card that Kaz wants to target is the Stolen AT Hauler at 4/5. Typically, this is not really great because when defeated, choose an opponent. For this phase, they may play this unit from its owner's discard file for free. So it's not great that they get a 4/5 playing out for free. But if we target with Kaz, we remove that text, so then basically we can go smash it into our opponent's face, and then basically, yeah, it dies, but my opponent doesn't get to bring it back. But what's even more fascinating are these: Heroic Sacrifice and Trench Run. Now, typically these cards have some pretty bad downsides of using them. While they're good because, again, Trench Run states we get a +4 to a fighter, but on attack, your opponent defender discards 2 cards from their deck, and then your fighter takes damage based on the difference. So if you were to discard let's say you're taking on Piet and they discard a 12 and a 2, you take 10 damage to your hull, and then the attack is pretty much over because you're dead. You died in the trench run. But with Kaz, if you say you targeted a fighter, like say this Turncoat, Cartel Turncoat, with the trench run, so you basically go with Kaz, turn off trench coat, then you go trench run. Trench run doesn't actually have an ability active at that point because, again, Kaz removes all abilities. It loses all abilities. So this Turncoat actually doesn't have any abilities. Even when after you target it with Trench Run, it still doesn't have any abilities. Kaz is negating everything that card has on it. So then that means that the cartel can swing in and deal damage and not have to discard. This is the same for Heroic Sacrifice. You draw a card, then attack with a unit. For this attack, it gets +2/+0, and gains when this unit deals combat damage, defeat it. Again, Kaz removes all abilities on the card. So you could do Heroic Sacrifice on a guy, swing for that extra +2 attack, and not die because you aren't considered to have died. You won't die off because Kaz removes your abilities. So yeah, I mean, just very, very strong. We're also playing a couple of cards ripping from our hands of Jam Communication, Spark of Rebellion. I definitely say if you're going to go into tournaments or stuff like that and you want to take Kaz, I would highly recommend also running Commandeer maybe in your sideboard because it's always not going to come up. Commandeer steals 6 cost or less fighters, vehicles that are non-piloted from your opponent's field, and then basically you get to do stuff with them and then you return it to your opponent's hand. So, yeah. But nonetheless, a really unique deck with a really unique leader that I think is going to start seeing some play now thanks to the Jango Fett suspension. Well, without further ado, let's jump into Karabast and see how well we do. Alright, folks, our match has been found. We're going to start with the initiative, of course. Our opponent is going to be playing Admiral Tarkin. This is another leader I actually really want to try out. I think he has unique abilities. So anyways, Admiral Tarkin, when you use a when defeated ability on one of your guys, you can tap him to double that ability. So if your ability says draw 2, draw 1 when defeated, draw 2 when defeated. Just draw a bunch of cards. From the look of this hand, we're going to keep. This is actually really good for us. We'll throw both Cassians into that. But interesting enough, I would see more of Tarkin going with, say, red, because then Tarkin gets bombardment, planetary bombardment. So we could just rip a card out of our opponent's hand right now. I don't think right now it's really worth it. Let's start off with just bringing out a Y-Wing right now. Okay, so we brought out Director Krennic, which is a really good card, especially for this deck, because you're going to be playing a lot of win-defeated characters. He just reduces the win-defeated cost by 1. So a really good card you could play for free in this is Super Laser Technician. Now, you only get the ability of Super Laser Tech once, as we claim the initiative here. Because of that. And also, like I said, you get to play this for free because of Mr. Krennic. So we'll just put a Y-Wing away. And then what we can do, again, like I said, we'll be putting out the Falcon this turn. We can then swing. Again, when this swings, he has to deal 3 indirect damage or something. He can easily deal 2 there. Or 1 there. Okay, 2 there. I thought he was going to do it all there and then just give the experience token. All right, so we got Inferno 4, which again has a win defeat ability. Comes out for a cost of 2. This is why this Krennic is so nice. And by the way, he did skip his charging it card this turn. Okay, we'll put out the Millennium Falcon. Now, I think honestly, because yes, it's annoying that he's going to get the search up 4 cards here, but maybe that is worth something. Searching up 4 cards, that way we can just So what this is really neat to do with Inferno 4, especially with Tarkin, is that if your opponent happens to kill it or you kill it into something, you get to look at 4 cards on the top of your deck. So you look at 2, you don't like them, you put one you put them both at the bottom. Then you look at another 2 because of Mr. Grand Admiral Thrawn. So you can scry up to 4 cards. So I think honestly we're just going to target Kaz, then we're just going to swing in base, and we're just gonna pass. Jam communication. The Plo Koon actually will be nice because we can actually ambush the Plo Koon, and we'll have the coordinate right now. We could do the trench run to make even more damage right now. I think I'm gonna get rid of the heroic. We can do also jam. It might be a good idea to take a look in his hand. Power of the dark side. The bomber can die. I think I prefer to kill the bomber off. Let's just take a look at that hand. Yeah, okay. Man's got 2 takedowns. Maybe we should have gotten rid of the takedowns, but I think keeping him off of ramping, I think it's a little better because we can go jam next. Okay, so he's going to swing his Inferno 4 into me. He looks at top 2 cards on Inferno 4's ability. Then Tarkin will then tap himself, and then he gets a look at another 2 cards. So it just kind of matters how you sequence it all for all your cards. Let's do jam. Let's get rid of one of that. Again, because next turn he does get this. So just to be 100% safe that our Linear Falcon just doesn't straight up die, we're just going to swing, and then I'm going to pass. Surprised he hasn't attacked. He has 3 damage sitting here already. Pass, and because we did not trigger this, we'll put a Millennium Falcon away. Again, we resource, and then we're going to return this to our hand. That way we don't have to worry about the ability. So basically, we're not concerned about him hitting us with one of his takedowns because it doesn't exist. Now, again, it'd be really nice if we could get Kaz attached. The problem is he still has 1 of these. I probably should have just gotten rid of the second takedown, all honesty. So let's just put out the Plo Koon. We are going to trigger the ambush. We'll just trigger it into Director Krennic so I can knock out Director Krennic's shield here. Okay, so we did do the takedown on that. We're just going to claim from here. I mean, he has no more charging. I have nothing else to do, so he's just going to swing 1. All that. I mean, yeah. Okay, a cause I believe in actually will be really good here. We're going to do this. We're going to put out the Falcon. Again, this deck's probably only playing 2 takedown, unless he saw another Power of the Dark Side. That's kind of gross, because that kills off that. Okay, we're going to do this. Let's put on top, put on top, put on top, put on top. This isn't great, because again, we're not seeing stuff we need, and I really just don't want to deploy Kaz as a unit. Oof. I guess we're going to have to deploy Kaz. We're going to deploy Kaz. Again, on attack, you can choose any number of friendly units, and they just lose their ability. So it does annoying that he did get that, which means he also does go up to 4 freaking damage. We'll hit on this. Kaz will lose his abilities. Doesn't really matter. 2. Then I can trigger the TarkinTown following turn and kill it off for good. We'll pass. Honestly, I think we're just going to go to done. There's nothing really to do. I mean, yeah, we can go like heroic sacrifice on a BB-8. We'll TarkinTown this off the board just so that he can't reduce his costs anymore. All right. This isn't great. Definitely not great. Mr. Director Krennic is back here. Let's go to top. Oh my gosh. Where the heck are all my fighters and stuff? Where's all my stuff? We'll put on top. I think we will discard. Put on top and discard. Ugh. Like, we have, like, nothing. Like, we're getting absolutely nothing. We're just getting, like, absolutely screwed right now by our draws. Well, yeah, we'll just do done. This isn't great. Let's do a cause I believe in. There's a Plo Koon. Okay, now we're starting to see some stuff. I'll discard that and then put on top, and put on top. We're finally seeing some stuff, but it's going to be so late to the party now. It's not going to be great. Let's look at his hand. We're going to get rid of that Power of the Dark Side. The Rival's Fall is a lot more expensive and probably a little better for me that if he wants to burn a Rival's Fall, he can do that. All right. Yeah, we're done here. It sucks that we don't have the Coordinate 3 because the Raid 3 would be able to kill off Thrawn here. We'll put this out. He's just going to go Power of the Dark. He's just going to do Power of the Dark Side. Maybe I should have put one card away to at least get Plo Koon out. Yeah, because all he needs to do is Power of the Dark Side, and he's got that one. We'll just claim. Ugh. Wow, we got screwed over by our draws. Like we didn't see any of our ships or anything we needed. On solo, well, we didn't exactly see a Millennium Falcon. We'll put that away. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to Kaz this, then we're going to trench run it. We swing into there. As you could see, we could have possibly won it if we saw a few more cards earlier. All right, so basically kills that off, heals, and this kills me here because there's no way for me to knock him out of the game. I could, like, ambush Han Solo, but it doesn't kill him, so, yeah, I'm just going to pass, and I'm going to let him kill me off. Well, not a great showing, mainly because we ended up getting screwed by all our events. Yeah, we got definitely screwed over by our events. That is for sure. But I could definitely see, like, some cards need to be put in here. I could definitely see, like, putting some whaleys to control the board state. I could definitely see maybe, yeah, the whaleys. I could feel like Commandeer isn't great, but I feel like maybe some whaleys coming in here instead of, like, maybe Bamboozle. Like, removing Bamboozle and putting in whaleys so that we can just whaley stuff back to our opponent's hand, I think it's a whole lot better. Maybe it's good idea to remove like Spark Rebellion down to 2, or just do either Spark Rebellion or Jam Communications, one or the other. Maybe even like bring Kaz, I believe, down to 2. I mean, we got it very close. We did basically just see how like Kaz removing the abilities off of Black 1 and then targeting it with Trench Run gave us basically 6 damage then and there because we removed the ability. So yeah, for our first version, I think this isn't too bad. I think we do need to get some tweaking and some changes here and there. Maybe removing Cassian down like to a 2 of just so that you can play him a little better. But yeah, I think honestly, there's some stuff that can get done. I think this deck has a good potential. I mean, even for a version 1, we came down pretty close. I just think maybe I need to change out some ratios of what we need to do in this deck. Maybe change some 2s, maybe drop some stuff and all that. Not 100% sure, but for a first version, this wasn't too bad. We nearly won it if we hadn't got screwed over by our draws. But yeah, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys. Do you think Kazuto has a chance to take the meta by storm? Or do you think Quinlan Boss, which everyone thinks is the best deck right now for Cunning Heroic with red, or TarkinTown, or I've seen Quinlan Data Vault as well as being a possibly strong deck. What are your thoughts? Do you think those decks will be the top competitive decks? I think Sabine still has a very strong presence in this. Do you think Piet now can come back into the format and start wrecking? What do you guys think the meta is going to look like now that Jango Fett has been suspended? But yeah, let me know that down in the comments, as well as anything I missed in the gameplay I could have done better, what you would change out in the deck, and anything else you want to comment about with Star Wars Unlimited. Also, let me know your thoughts down on the suspension list. Do you think that DJ was a little overzealous just because of the way Han Solo has been in the last 3 formats. Do you think TarkinTown should have been hit? What are your thoughts on Triple Dark Raid? A lot of people were very decisive about that card, even though I think 100% it probably deserved a hit because of Boba Fett 4 or Boba Fett from JTL. But yeah, let me know everything down in the comments, Star Wars Unlimited related, and while you're coming, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify when my videos go live for you, and we'll see you here next time on Modern Dragons TCG.